A teacher is accused of putting their hands on a student. The trial has begun for a Walmart killer, and an infant fatality is being investigated.
All that and more on your APSU-TV news. Welcome back to another week of your APSU-TV news. I'm Aaliyah Cumberbatch.
And I'm Breanna Franklin. To start us off, a Clarksville mother and the local school district say a teacher at Minglewood Elementary put their hands on a child on the autism spectrum, but the teacher denies the claim and remains on the job. WZ-TV Fox 17 reports the child's mother. Jakaria Crockett says she got a call from Minglewood's principal back in September. The principal reportedly stated that the teacher, Stacy Williams, put hands on Crockett's 4-year-old son Landon, who is on the autism spectrum and is nonverbal. Fox 17 News says the Crocketts had watched the video of the situation at the school. They had asked for a copy multiple times but had been denied every time. At the same time, the teacher denies hitting, touching, or striking the child. The director of schools gave the teacher a 3-day suspension with no pay. However, the teacher is still employed at Minglewood Elementary. Bethany Midget-Stegel is a disability advocate who is helping the Crockett family. The advocate told the TV station this was one of the worst cases she had seen. The trial began this week for a man charged with killing a Fort Campbell Boulevard Walmart employee who police say tried to stop him from shoplifting. Clarksville Now reports the shooting happened back in March 2022. Police officers found 55-year-old William Eakes Jr. with multiple gunshot wounds. He was transported to a local hospital where he died. Eyewitnesses and security camera footage helped investigators identify the suspected man as 42-year-old Christopher Clark. Police say Clark was wearing a red hoodie and blue jeans when he entered the store after hours, grabbed a drink and chips, then left out the front door without paying. Eakes was seen on camera following Clark, turned around and shot him several times before leaving.
It's still not clear what led up to a shooting that resulted in the death of an infant last weekend. Officers responded to a call on Citadel Drive in Clarksville on Sunday around noon. Police found a dead child at the home. The findings of the investigation will be turned over to the district attorney's office. An electrical problem is being blamed for a house fire that displaced a family off Madison Street this week. Clarksville Now reports the home caught fire on Wednesday morning around 6. Clarksville fire rescue teams found heavy flames and smoke coming from the back of the house on the 200 block of East Meadow. 6 family members were inside when the fire broke out, and all escaped safely and without injury. They watched on from a neighbor's house as the firefighters tried to control the flames. Heavy rain, winds, and thunder made this difficult. However, they were eventually able to contain the fire and bring it under control. Fire Chief Michael Rios says the fire appeared to have been started by an electrical issue in a pipe outside the kitchen window.
We have new information in the case of a driver in a hit-and-run crash that left a woman critically injured over the weekend on Fort Campbell Boulevard. Police have identified the driver as 35-year-old Daniel Harmon, a soldier stationed at Fort Campbell. Clarksville Now reports Harmon's Jeep crashed into the back of the woman's Saturn 4-door sedan in front of Zaxby's just after 9:30 Saturday night. He has been charged with driving under the influence, leaving the scene of an accident resulting in injury, open container, and implied consent. This is an ongoing investigation. Anyone with information is asked to call the police.
Another fire took place on Wednesday morning, this time in Woodlawn, claiming several dogs and puppies. Clarksville Now reports firefighters arrived at a garage on fire on Jim Taylor Road just after 9:30. 3 dogs and 2 puppies who were in kennels inside the garage died. 2 other dogs and 1 cat survived. The property owner, Calvin Jackson, said he is suspicious about the fire as there was no electricity tied to the building, nor candles or other open flames nearby. The fire is still under investigation. Just give us a moment and stay tuned after this commercial break to find out what's happening in the political corner.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
You want change. You want a community that supports you. You want the knowledge it takes to make a difference in this world. It's time to be more. It's time to be better. It's time to grow. The world you want to see starts with you. The life you want begins at Austin Peay State University. Learn more at apsu.edu.
Hey everyone, I'm Jazmin Logan, and welcome back to the Political Corner. There seems to be some controversy surrounding Governor Bill Lee's Education Freedom Scholarship. This school voucher proposal, if approved, would be in effect just in time for the upcoming 2024 school year. This proposal would allow 10,000 vouchers to be distributed to any family in Tennessee who is at or below 300% of the federal poverty income level. Each tuition voucher would be an estimated $7,300, intended to cover approximately 62% of the cost of an average Tennessee private school. There are also policies aimed toward public education reform involving standardized testing and teacher evaluations, but many are still skeptical. Washington is in shutdown countdown mode again. Congress faces the first of two government funding deadlines in just 2 days, on Friday, March 1st. The two deadlines can make things confusing for households about what government programs might be impacted. Karen Kaifa is in Washington to sort it out.
Congressional leaders racing the clock again.
I think it's pretty safe to say we all agree we need to avoid a government shutdown.
We made it so clear that we can't have the shutdown because it hurts so many people in so many different ways, even for a short period of time.
And households wondering how to prepare. In January, lawmakers passed another short-term government funding deal with two new deadlines on March 1st and March 8th. Without a deal, departments impacted by this week's deadline include transportation, housing and urban development, veterans affairs, agriculture, and energy. Operations critical to public safety would continue during a shutdown, so employees like USDA food inspectors and TSA workers and air traffic controllers would stay on the job, but without pay. The Department of Agriculture says recipients of SNAP food stamp benefits and pregnant women and new moms enrolled in the WIC program would receive March payments. VA policy says veteran health care would not be affected and benefits like housing and pensions would continue. But services like career counseling and the transition assistance program for service members moving into civilian life would not be available. Meanwhile, next week's deadline includes the IRS, potentially scaling back the number of IRS employees on the job as tax filing season approaches its peak. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Congressional leaders say it's finally time. They promise the country will have a long-term fiscal year budget by March 22nd. But first, they're holding votes on a stopgap plan. They have until the end of tomorrow to avoid a partial government shutdown, as Amy Kiley reports.
It looks like segments of the federal government won't shut down this weekend after all. Leaders say they agree on a continuing resolution. But that's not the biggest budget news in Washington.
This is for the process to allow us to honor the rules and not jam people with a large piece of legislation they haven't had a chance to review.
Top congressional leaders say they'll hold votes on 6 long-term appropriations bills next week. Here are some of the government agencies that legislation affects. The CR keeps them open through March 8th. Leaders say they're still finalizing another 6 bills covering the rest of government. The CR gives them until March 22nd for those. Some lawmakers say it's about time the country had a fiscal year plan.
This is stupid. This ridiculous back and forth about nothing. I mean, this was supposed to be done in September.
Voters are shaking their heads, wondering what in God's name we are doing.
We should be dealing with issues that are meaningful to American families immediately.
The budget news comes the same day as another high-profile announcement. The longest-serving party leader in Senate history is giving up his title.
This will be my last term as Republican leader of the Senate.
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says he'll still be a senator, but he says it's time for the next generation of leaders.
I yield the floor.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Senator Tammy Duckworth proposed a bill to protect IVF treatments under federal law in the wake of the Alabama Supreme Court ruling. This attempt was rejected by Senate Republicans. Several fertility clinics in Alabama are pausing IVF services until this ruling gets sorted out. Democrats warn that other states could follow suit when it comes to reproductive rights. Former President Donald Trump has made a statement in support of these treatments as Alabama lawmakers are struggling to find a solution. Wednesday, Senate Democrats will attempt to pass legislation to protect IVF. For Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth, it is personal. She used IVF to conceive her own 2 children. She is calling on the Senate to pass the bill unanimously, as just one objection could kill the bill.
Mark my words, if we don't act now, it will only get worse. That's why tomorrow I'm headed to the Senate floor to call on my colleagues to pass, via unanimous consent, my Access to Family Building Act, which would ensure that every American's right to become a parent via treatments like IVF is fully protected, regardless of what state they live in, guaranteeing that no hopeful parent or doctor is punished. This should be obvious legislation. Because in this nightmarish moment, it's nowhere near enough to send out a vaguely worded tweet suggesting that you care about women's rights, despite a voting record to the absolute contrary. No, instead, if you truly care about the sanctity of families, if you're genuinely, actually, honestly interested in protecting IVF, then you need to show it by not blocking this bill on the floor tomorrow.
Michigan's primaries brought both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump one step closer to a likely rematch in November. But the votes they didn't get sent a message to both candidates. Our Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook shares insight into Tuesday night's results.
Another commanding Republican primary win for Donald Trump. The former president received roughly 68% of the vote, helping solidify his path to the GOP nomination. Trump is already looking toward the general election.
I can tell you this, November 5th cannot come fast enough because our country's in serious trouble.
But his last remaining major primary opponent, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, received just over a quarter of the vote on Tuesday, indicating a sizable group of Republican voters are either firmly opposed to Trump or still need to be won over.
This has become about one man when it should be about the American people. That's what we're fighting for.
The Michigan primaries also highlighted one of President Joe Biden's vulnerabilities. Even as Biden won more than 80% of the Democratic vote, some Democrats used their ballots as a form of protest against the president's response to the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. More than 100,000 people voted uncommitted in the Democratic primary.
He needs to call for an immediate, permanent ceasefire. And he needs to stop funding the Israeli military's war crimes.
Biden put out a statement celebrating his Michigan victory, but did not mention the protest vote. A senior campaign advisor later sent out a message saying, quote, President Biden shares the goal of many of the folks who voted uncommitted, which is an end to the violence and a just and lasting peace. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
President Joe Biden was cleared for duty after his annual physical. Dr. Kevin O'Connor says that President Biden is, quote, a healthy, active, robust 81-year-old, end quote. Voters are still concerned about Biden's age following special counsel Robert Hur's report that called the president's memory into question. However, during the physical, Biden underwent a comprehensive neurological exam before he was cleared. Still, only 37% of Democrats are in support of Biden's re-election. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Stay tuned for the weather after this short break.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know. That's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
You want change. You want a community that supports you. You want the knowledge it takes to make a difference in this world. It's time to be more. It's time to be better. It's time to grow. The world you want to see starts with you. The life you want begins at Austin Peay State University. Learn more at apsu.edu.
Thanks for sticking with us for the weather. I'm Michael Dangerfield. Looking at our current national temps, we have Seattle at 40, Los Angeles 61, and to the east, we have New York at 42, 43 for Atlanta, and then Chicago sitting at 42. But the highs in Tennessee for today is going to be 52 in Memphis, 48 and 50 teetering on Clarksville and Nashville, and then 46 Knoxville, and Chattanooga is 48. But for the lows, we have 42 in Memphis. Once again, to have that two even spread at 46 and 48 in Clarksville and Nashville. Knoxville is 45, and Chattanooga once again is at 46. Looking at our current temperatures for the day, we have 50, little bit of wind, and then a 33% chance of rain, which is kind of already raining. But tonight it's 46, little bit of wind speeds, and then 39% chance of rain too. For our 5-day forecast, we have Friday and Saturday looking at 50 and 46, 64 and 47 for the highs and lows. Sunday and Monday, we have 76 and 58, 76 again and 57. And Tuesday, we have 68 and 54 for the highs and lows. That's all we have for the news for your local and national weather. APSU will be returning right after this with the entertainment and news.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro.
Wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
College life can be challenging, but everyone at Austin Peay should have access to success no matter what the obstacles. Whether it's workshops, support, or just someone to talk to, the Student Disability Resource Center is there to help students overcome their challenges and experience college life to the fullest. Don't go it alone. The Student Disability Resource Center is there to help you. You'll find the center in room 114 in the Morgan UC, or call them at 221-7777. 221-7777. A campus reminder from APSU-TV.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Welcome back, Govs, to All Things APSU Sports. I'm Mo Bradley, and I'm bringing you all the highlights. Let's look at all the excitement that happened this week. This week, our Govs baseball team took on the Gonzaga Bulldogs. The Govs swept the Bulldogs 6-4 with second baseman Amber Voltic hitting a cycle, which was the first for APSU since Alex Robles in 2017. This was a major win for APSU and for Voltic. Great job, Govs. Moving on to basketball, our men's team had a busy week this week as they hosted the #1 team in the ASUN Conference at F&M Bank Arena. The Govs went to work against the Eastern Kentucky Colonels, clinching a win in the second quarter, 83-79. EKU led the game by as many as 9 points late in the first half, but the double-digit second-half performances by Isaac Haney, Desi Jones, and DeMarcus Sharp, paired with a game high of 26 points by player to watch, Say Witt, helped APSU post its 6th highest comeback of the season. Last night's win means that Austin Peay now is locked into the #4 seed in the 2024 Atlantic Sun Conference Men's Basketball Championship, which will be played here at F&M Bank Arena March 5th. What's coming up next for APSU Sports? Well, tonight we have our men's basketball team taking on Bellarmine Knights. Come out and support our Govs. That's all the time we have for all things APSU Sports here in Stashville. Just a reminder to go out and support your Govs. A schedule of all the athletic teams can be found on the Let's Go Peay social media and website. Have a great weekend. I'm Mo Bradley saying Let's Go Peay.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving. I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
As you progress in your semester, you might find your workload becoming overwhelming. The Learning Resource Center is a great asset we have here on campus that is always here to help. Located in the Marks Building, room 124, the center aims to help you succeed in any area of study with one-on-one peer tutoring and so much more. Come by and see them or contact them for more information at 221-6550. That's 221-6550, a campus reminder from APSU-TV.
Welcome back to the news for something to fill your heart or your calendar. Country singer Morgan Wallen has announced that he will open a bar sometime in 2024. Detroit Free Press says the new business will pay tribute to his Tennessee roots. It will be called This Bar in Tennessee Kitchen. The venue will be approximately 30,000 square feet and feature 3 live music stages, 6 bars, and an open-air rooftop. You can check out the Great Pages Circus in just a few days. Their circus will be open Monday and Tuesday starting at 4:30 in the afternoon at the Clarksville Speedway and Fairgrounds. The circus will have acts such as ponies, horses, and camels that highlight the circus' fabulous aerial, juggling, clowns, and motorcycle mayhem. For more information, you can visit pagescircus.com. Always remember to keep your eyes on the road. Take a look at this driver taking a dive into unfamiliar territory.
Take a look at shocking dashcam video capturing the moment a distracted driver sailed off the edge of a roadside cliff in Oregon. State police released the video saying the driver apparently took their eyes off the road before flying off the cliff and plunging 200 feet down an embankment. Amazingly, police say the driver was able to get out of the twisted wreckage on their own before being hoisted by emergency responders back up the hill to safety. Here's some crazy caught-on-cam video captured in Texas after a herd of goats got loose and then got moving.
Go, goats, go!
You know, I feel like this story deserves the old punometer, don't you? I know what you're thinking. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, here we go. After the herd, which was hired to clear weeds, went on the lam, Arlington police responded and weren't sheepish, instead taking the bull by the horns and rounding up the roving silly billies without further incident. They didn't even have to use their battering ram. You heard it here first. 5, 6, 7 puns. Not bad. That counts too, by the way. Finally, from one big moving stink to one stinky-stemmed star that's worthy of a whiff. That's according to the California Academy of Sciences, who say for the first time ever they have a rare blooming corpse flower stinking up the joint. These exotic rainforest plants can grow to 7 feet tall at the peak of their reek. They bloom only once every few years, but when they do, it's fast and it's funky.
People say garlic, sweaty feet, rotten flesh. I actually kind of thought it smelled a little bit like a porta potty, like a collection of scents.
Who's hungry? For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
The city of Clarksville is moving forward on a plan to create its own arts, culture, and tourism authority. Clarksville Mayor Joe Pitts told WKRN News 2, "Our city and its growth has pointed to the need to elevate the arts, all arts, not just performing arts, but everything from singer-songwriters to dance troupes. The proposal would bring Montgomery County's current 8% hotel tax to 12%. This tax is estimated to generate more than $2 million every year. The money will fund the Customs House Museum, the Arts and Heritage Council, and the Roxy Theater. The second vote is slated to take place on March 2nd and will determine if the tax is passed or needs further discussion." Clarksville Now has released its Winter Fun Guide for 2024. The guide is a rundown of fun events happening in Clarksville through the 19th of March. Some of the events happening include the First Thursday Art Walk and ClarksvilleCon. You can find a complete list of events, times, and locations on Clarksville Now's website. Someone's taking a stroll for a midnight snack. Take a look at this bear. Try and sneak out while nobody is looking.
Wakey, wakey, Mr. Bear. Video posted by the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission shows the squatter sneaking, snout first, from a vent outside a home in Asheville. Apparently, the bulky bear turned that house into a winter home. Now, springing up as spring arrives, squeezing its way into the open air. Clearly a tight fit for the trespasser as it's taking some extra effort to wiggle free. The commission says the video is a reminder to stay vigilant. As warmer weather arrives, be wary of bear dens and do your best to not disturb their slumber. Speaking of free, our friend Gracie here survived a sticky situation. The poor pooch got her head caught in a biscotti bucket for 2 whole weeks. Woof. Workers at Wilton Animal Rescue in California say the dog went the whole time without food or water. They used a crock pot filled with chicken to catch Gracie so they could remove the bucket. Now that she's shaken off that pesky problem, Gracie will make a full recovery and be put up for adoption. Finally, a muggle has their hands on a piece of magical history.
You're a wizard, Harry.
This uncorrected proof copy of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone sold for nearly $14,000 at auction. Notably, this edition has the author's name wrong, listing J.A. Rowling on the cover page instead of J.K. Rowling. It's believed to be one of 200 ever printed. Now, get this. The seller purchased the proof for pennies at a bookstore 27 years ago in London. Decades later, waving their wand and turning the treasure into extra galleons. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
APSU spring break is around the corner. It looks like we'll get some spring weather this weekend as we head off for our break. Our reporters, Julian Ali and Elijah Wiley, asked students around campus about their spring break plans.
Today we're going to be walking around Austin Peay University and asking students, what are your plans for spring break?
Well, I got 2 options. I'm debating on either going to PCB with my brothers or debating on going to the casino.
I am pulling some work hours.
Laying out in the sun, I guess. For spring break, I'm probably just going to be working, being outside more and hanging out with friends.
Actually, I'm staying here. My family's coming to see me, and I'm just working and relaxing a little bit.
I'm probably going to be going to the zoo with my girlfriend. We've got a drawing exercise. We're going to try to draw every one of the animals that we go see. We usually like to go to the zoo. It's kind of a fun thing that we do.
A lot of clubbing and partying.
We'll be going to the Maya, having fun,
Probably just be on the beach chilling. Yeah, vibing.
I'm gonna go to my hometown and work and hang out with my family.
Basically for spring break, I'm just gonna be working the whole time really and trying to save up so I can afford to go to school here.
For spring break, I have finals that week because I have condensed courses at Fort Campbell, so I'm gonna be taking a lot of finals that week, and then I'm gonna go visit my best friend at her school.
That's all the time we have for today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at APSU-TV Clarksville and Instagram at APSU_TV. Thank you for watching your APSU TV News Update. We'll be back next time, and as always, let's go Peay.